Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Module 2 and welcome into Lesson 3 Managing Online Feedback and Criticism. By now, you have just completed Lesson 2 with me and you have just created the workbooks on creating your goals. So, let's head into online feedback and how to use constructive criticism in a positive way. Now, there's a certain classification of feedback, and there are some that's more beneficial for us than others. Now, most people understand this term or these terminologies, but when you classify negative feedback, a lot of this can look like not an insult, but it's not going to give me anything to work on either. It's not going to give me a process or a step by step, and it's not tailored to help in any way. Now, negative feedback could look like, hey, if you keep up doing this, or if you go down this road, it's not going to be any better for you, or it's just not how you're going to build a business, period. It doesn't offer any type of help to encourage or to empower in any way. Now, the opposite can also not be super beneficial for us either. That's positive feedback. Now, positive feedback is just our compliment. It doesn't offer any help as well because you're not going to build a business unless someone who is doing better than you, who you've reached out to receive help from, is going to offer support and tell you different things you can work on. If not, and we just keep getting hit in the face by your reels are good, your content's good, it's not going to help me increase or grow and cultivate that environment for myself or for my business to take off. Now, the most beneficial one for us is to receive constructive feedback. Now, you will not be able to receive constructive feedback in a way that's going to cultivate a growth mindset for you and in a way that's not net negative for you unless you first cultivate a safe environment and you find that this person who is giving you constructive feedback is safe for you. If you see this person as negative or a trigger, or in some way the environment that you've built around these relationships or in this business is a trigger in any way, you won't be able to take that constructive feedback to grow and cultivate your business. Instead, you're just going to see it as an insult. Now, the best way for me to give constructive feedback or to know that it is being said constructively is the sandwich method. Now, if you have bread, meat, bread, that bread would look like a compliment. That meat is some sort of information as value, right? That you could work on this help, this step. And often that next piece of bread is another compliment, or it's an opportunity for that person to say, okay, here is how it helped me. And here is what helped me. Here's the offer. Here's what I can do to help you. That is where constructive feedback is often not taken advantage of, where I think we can take advantage of giving constructive feedback if we tailor it toward our own experiences that we've been through as well. So there are ways to turn this constructive feedback into opportunities for growth. Now, again, you have to be in a safe environment or know that this person who's offering constructive feedback to you has your best interest or your business's best interest in the back of their mind, knowing that it's coming from a place of positivity and coming from a place of caring or support. So you have to be able to look at the situation, take a step back and look at the situation that is where it's coming from. If you did not ask for constructive feedback, then I wouldn't necessarily say that it's being tailored to your best interest. If you did ask, then you need to be willing to receive it and keep yourself in a safe kind of nervous system and not feel triggered by receiving this feedback, knowing that it's a place of coming from a place of good mindset. Now, we need to know and linger on the fact that it's coming from a positive mindset or from a positive person, because most people, when they hear any type of feedback, will see that as a trigger or as a negative, like we just talked about. So it's very important to build relationships with people that we're willing to hear from and who are willing to also hold us accountable as well, because there is a difference in straight judgment, which is negative feedback or someone cultivating a negative environment around you. There's that judgment. What they say comes across in a very jealous or judged tone. But people who can cultivate constructive feedback or learn how to take constructive feedback, it comes across as some sort of accountability, knowing again that they want you to improve and they want you to grow. Now, We need to know, and the only way we can cultivate a mindset of growth or continue to keep a mindset of growth in our business is to know that we will experience setbacks in our business. It is naive to think that you will grow a business perfectly because we are human and we live in a man made world that is not perfect. So, for us to say that we are imperfect, but we'll build a perfect business that doesn't go through seasons is just saying, oh, I'm just going to work extra hard. I'm just going to buy all the things to make sure that my business is perfect. And I'm telling you right now, it will not be. You experience struggles and setbacks in whatever that you want to build, even if it is something that you find joy in and have a passion toward. Now, let's be realistic. We will experience setbacks. We will experience different seasons in our business, but we can always keep a mindset of growth. Now, if we think of it as gardening in a sense, I know that there are going to be times in my business where I'm going to have to water myself. I'm going to have to, out of a place of zealousy, see someone that is doing something better than me, or maybe 5, 10% ahead of me. And instead of being jealous or envious of something that they have, know that I can want what they want and have some zeal toward what they have and know that I can get there as well, but I have to water myself. I have to water and do the inner work, which you're doing right now. And then the next step is watering our relationships around us. We will not be able to grow if we do not feel safe or if we feel negative in the relationships that are around us. Now, when we portray this onto social media, this looks like people that we are DMing with often. This looks like people we even follow or we trust. And this looks like people who we see on our For You page that we want to interact with. Now, I'm telling you right now, you can unfollow people. You can, and I'm giving you permission because you should unfollow people who do not light your fire, who do kind of orchestrate this idea of competition and jealousy within social media. That does not have to be. Social media is widespread, and there is someone out there doing social media or selling a certain product or whatever better than you. And to know that means that they aren't you. And we'll get to this. Social media is your spot. So we'll get to that onto the next slide. You'll go through seasons of watering, but you'll also go through seasons of gardening. Again, if I want to reap a certain harvest, if I want my flower to blossom, then most gardeners know we need to look at the soil and we need to look at the ground that we've planted in. And in our case, that's the environment. Is it rocky? Is it dry? And is it going to be a cultivating environment for me to know that I'm good at what I do and I can continue to do it and I can continue to grow? You're not going to grow in rocky soil. You're not going to grow in complete positive, too much water. It's going to drown me environment. So there are different analogies to that, but you're not going to grow in one unless it's made tailored for you. And then we'll have that season of reaping. We'll have that season of harvest, but that might be down the road from here. It's naive to think that you're going to see this in a few months. It takes time. And again, if you have grown a garden, then you might see this flower blossom. We might snip it, right? We might snip it back a little bit to then see that next season blossom. So there are going to be times of this in our business. And you can take this past feedback that you've heard and past feedback from other areas, and you can use that to cultivate your mindset here for future endeavors as you go into your business. Now, the strategies per se for handling this negative feedback is one. Again, we need to look at the environment that we follow on social media. This is your place. This is your spot, your business. You may follow, unfollow, block, whatever it looks like on your own social media page. You do not need to read messages. You do not need to answer back to comments. And if you feel as though you need to, then that tells me you're not able to validate this season of setback for yourself. You can set boundaries in your business, and this might look like blocking or unfollowing family members or friends or coworkers at this time where you feel invalidated and you feel as though you need to work on giving yourself and providing yourself with enough attention to know you don't need to scroll on social media for inspiration, because you'll see it at some point in your own story. So the people that do necessarily feel as though they need to buy all these products, stay on top of the game, sell. Those are my hard selling people. Those are my people who find social media as the competition that it's not, and they don't see it as this place for inspiration or a place for them to grow or share their story. Now, if you feel as though it's hard to see these things, it's hard to cultivate that environment, you do need a little bit more support because you're shy, because you're inverted. I'm going to tell you, you should invest in a mentor or some coaching. Now, here are certain things to look at when you do feel as though you can, or you should, or you need to. And this might sound odd because these people that we might want to invest or coach from, we see them as doing better than us, but that's not always the truth. So you need to be willing to ask questions to this mentor or to this coach that you're considering. Have they been mentored before? Have they been coached themselves? What areas of feedback, or have they ever felt stuck? What setbacks have they gone through? And in what way do they feel like that has allowed them to grow, or what have they learned from that? These are things that you want for yourself. So if you don't feel as though you can ask this coach or this mentor these questions, you're not going to receive them back in return, and you're still going to go through these seasons of setbacks if they can't necessarily help you through or cultivate this environment for you. Now, this could look like one-on-one, this could look like growth. It's whatever you necessarily feel is going to allow you to reap this harvest, right? Now, this is why it's also incredibly important for you to feel aligned with the products that you're selling, because we want to, and this is also why we're very big on creation, we want to feel aligned with what we're selling so that we aren't always feeling this need of competition. If I feel aligned with what I'm selling, with what I've created, then it's going to be far more easy for me to soft sell and build relationships with people, because I won't always see this area as a competition. Now, when we do receive criticism, then there are certain ways where we can maintain that confidence as we go through that criticism. And that one is to make sure we're managing our state of mind. Again, looking at this as a journey, as a individual strengths or individual steps, instead of looking at just the end result that we want our business to get to. But I will say we should never wait for this feeling of perfection or this feeling of readiness or feeling like we've somehow secured or we've gotten to where we wanted to be, because we always need to be willing to grow. And confidence itself is an action. It's something for me to perfect over time. It's something for me to practice over time. It's not like someone automatically made social media and said, I'm the most confident person now and I'm just amazing. Actually, social media is most of the time tied to mental health issues. This is why we made the course that we did, because nobody came onto social media and got more confident unless they worked on it. Social media is an incredibly debilitating, or it can be invalidating thing for someone who might already struggle with these things. This is why it's important to work on it before we get to social media, because you can keep social media in this box of inspiration and cultivation and growth without ever seeing it as this evil, debilitating, invalidating thing. But if you don't work on this confidence as you go and take this constructive feedback as a safe thing, then you won't be able to cultivate this growth mindset. This is why it's even more necessary to ask for constructive feedback, or to ask for any necessary social proof testimonials from your services, your DMs, or your products, because you can look back on this and keep it in this little folder or this little tucked in box in your mind, or like me, in your photo album on your phone. Because anytime I might be dealing with this lack of confidence, I can look at my social proof and my testimonials and see this A to B transformation for somebody else that I helped them get there, or this product that I sell, or this product I've created. And even more, that's going to allow me to tailor and build my own confidence in this continuous action toward achieving this end result in my business. So, that was a lot, but I think it's incredibly important, especially as we go, because again, there are going to be these setbacks and there are going to be these struggles, and we need to be able to identify which feedback is more beneficial for us, constructive, negative, positive. Most of the time it's going to be this constructive feedback, but we need to cultivate a safe environment for ourselves to receive that and actually take it as something that we can get toward and we can build our business off of. So that was lesson 3 in module 2. Please go ahead and continue on this workbook tied with this lesson for feedback. And then we're going to head into one of my favorite modules. We're going to head into leveraging authenticity in marketing, looking at storytelling and ethical practices as we head into this kind of growth scaling season in our business. All right, let's get into it.